So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Power Rangers Dino Fury Mosa Razor Megazord. Yes, the final one. I've already reviewed the other ones on my channel, so I've done the Terrafreeze and the main Dino Fury, along with the Black Stegozord and Green Sabretooth. And this was the final one I got. Ironically, the first one I got was the Terrafreeze, so in this review, we're also going to have the Terrafreeze combos because I couldn't do them in that review. Big oversight by me to review that one first, but I did get it multiple days before I got the rest of the line, so, you know. But here we have the Mosa Razor Zord in its Mosasaur. Is it Mosasaur? I don't know the exact name of it. That one thing from Jurassic World that eats the assistant. There we go. That one. And it's an aquatic dinosaur, which is pretty intriguing. We don't have very many of those. The other one I'm thinking of is the Plesiosaur from Dino Charge. That's the other aquatic dinosaur I'm thinking of, and this thing is really long. It is... yeah, it can't fit on camera like this. It's, as you can see, right in front of it. And basically, if you turn it over, it's just the robot laying down. And once again, the arms are right there. They don't hide. On any of these, they just didn't do anything with the arms. They're just blatantly there. Legs, pretty blatant on this, especially if you turn it over. But at least he's trying. He also has these two little Omanites here. One of which, mine didn't get an eye painted. I don't know why, but one has one eye. Not the biggest deal, but it is a bit annoying because it's always a left one. But hey, it gives it a little bit more personality, you know? Oh, one has one eye and one has two. And I don't know if these are Zords on their own, but they do exist. And they are in that nice dark blue that the Gold Rangers usually get. So that's really nice. And as far as it goes, the Zord itself looks really nice, other than the sticky outy arms. They're like missile pods. That's how I can say that they are, is they're missile pods. It has this flip-out bit, which, if I'm not mistaken, is for the Spinosaurus or Thundosaurus mode. That's what that is for. And at the most of the reviews I see are like, oh, they didn't release the Metrazon Zord. What's the point? And then it's out. It's able to be pre-ordered on Amazon now. Like, it's kind of funny. Because no one had the patience, I guess, to wait. These always look like they can flip out. I think they're just inserts, though. Which is a little weird. I mean, as far as this mode goes, it's alright. If you don't like the severed Omanites, they can peg on to what would be the robot hips. For storage purposes, of course. Me personally, I despite them in robots, so it's just, they're here severed for that reason. That's really most of the Mosasaur. It can open up the mouth, of course, because if it couldn't, that would be a little dumb. Because it's very vital to the robot mode. I mean, it's nice. There's a lot of that weird rubbery stuff, like all the fins are that rubbery material, the tip of the tail, all of the fins, just everything. But yeah, that's the Megazord itself. So let's take a look at the key before we get into the transformation of it. And here's the key, so it's obviously just the head. Turning it around, there you go. Nice golden key. Drop the back of it. There's the little Gold Ranger, if I'm not mistaken. He has like a chainsaw weapon, which would explain the difference, because these keys aren't all the same. Like, I've read off to the side for combination purposes, obviously. Like, they all have the different helmets to represent each ranger and everything like that. Like, the swords are very clearly the different parts. Like, the bottom section's the same on each one. There's no difference, I don't think. They're just the same. And even down to the little caps, they all have different molding in there for their rangers. So that's nice. Also, there is an issue with my red one. I have noticed it is actually, like, there's too much plastic in the ball joint area, so it looks down. So if I kind of pop it out a bit, I figured that out after I reviewed it. had that issue. That one's also the worst to get into place. But that is the key. So let's get into the transformation sequence. First thing I'm going to do, rip out the tail, which is just the sword, and give a boost up. You're going to flip the fins upward like so. Take the arms, rotate them down. Now, they are supposed to go like this, but me personally, I find this looks a bit like an elbow. So I just rotate them. I kind of like the gray detailing on the outside. It's not like there's any ports on it that really dictate it to where it's supposed to go. Take the dino arms, fold them up behind the shoulder fins. Come to the head and then rotate it so that the blue is right and gold is left. Take the fists, so in my case I have to make sure which one's which because one way doesn't have an eye on it. As you can see, there's the eye on the left one, but the left one on the right hand wouldn't have an eye. You then come up to the top here and open up the mouth, and then take your key and stick it right there, and give him his sword trident thing. And there's the Mosa Razor Megazord, all transformed up, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think it is my favorite of the bunch. I do like the design of it a lot. I just like it a lot. I always find myself liking the gold Zords, especially when they have this nice dark blue. Like, I really like the Samurai Claw Zord as well. But, yeah, this thing just looks great. I love how the head splits and becomes kind of like a giant collar. I do like that design. Technically, you can keep the head key in. You can keep it in. It looks a little strange, but you can do it. So you don't have to remove it, but that's the point of the gimmick, right? That's my favorite part, is putting the key in. But, I mean, as far as it goes, his accessory is this sword, which is just his tail. It's kind of a trident that has, like, prongs on the side, but it's wielded like a sword, not a trident, so I just call it a sword. I mean, it exists. It's nice. What are you gonna do? And I mean, he just looks pretty cool all around. And he has good articulation. Now, the head can rotate due to it having a ball joint, but since the head is in the way, but that is a part of the transformation, is the head rotates. So you do get a head swivel no matter what, which is nice. Forward and back, which is ratcheted. He does have the Patera Freeze type arms where they come off. Outward. His elbow's really weird on mine because it came out of the box on a slight bend and I couldn't fix it. But when you can see it just kind of springs forward. Like if you tap it. He does not have hand articulation, obviously, due to them being removable. No waist, but we'll get to why. The others two don't have it either, but they do have the spinning bit to do. The outward, really limited on this guy due to the armor. Forward and back. Knee joint is really, really heavy and also doesn't go too far. Oh, that's not fun. And he, of course, has ball joint in the feet like the others do. And obviously, we're not going to not do the comparisons here. Here he is next to the Patera Freeze. And because they all won't fit on camera at the same time, the Dino Fury legs got put up. And there is the Dino Fury Megazord in its normal formation. And yeah, that is the Dino Fury thing. Now, of course, there's different combos you can do with it. I have a few. Like, you can take the Triceratops and you can remove one of the fists and then give him the sword as a fist. It's minor, and then you can take that and put it on the chest since there's pegs there, but nothing attaches. There's lots of things you can do with it, but obviously this isn't all we're going to do. I'm going to show the red combo. It's really lame. It's not very good. To do the red combo, you just simply come in, remove the tail and the other part. You just kind of remove the tail and head and clip the tail onto his wrist and then put the head on the chest. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's not very good, is it? That's not good. That's what happens when red only has two removable parts. but he is one of the big ones. I mean, Patera has the same thing where he only has 2 removable parts, and it's the shield and the head. So there is that. There's no combo with Patera, though. Technically there is, but we're going to get to that in a second here. But as far as this overall Megazord, before we get into combo, yeah, this Megazord's great. It's like the rest of the line. It's great. I like them a lot. I like this whole line so far. I think they're all really great. They're really fun. The customizability of it, it's really awesome to be able to just make your own stuff. It's pretty cool. Now, take the spotlight off of him while we get into the Ultra... oh my god, I'm forgetting. Is it Primal Ultrazord? There we go. The Primal Ultrazord. He's very much involved in it, and we're going to get him into his pieces here real quick before we do the rest of it. So, to get into the Primal Ultrazord, kind of, we're going to do the combination between Patera and Rex, but the Primal Ultrazord, remove fists and throw them away. You don't need them. Same thing goes for the tail. Don't need that. And you don't get the key. Ooh, I hit the shelf. I think that happened in the last review too when I was pulling out the keys. Is I just kind of hit the shelf above it, and everything goes flying ever so slightly. But what you're going to do, remove the arms, like I mentioned. They are clipped on and are removable. You're going to make it so it's like that. And then these face in. No, actually, you leave it up like that. I'm trying here. There we go. Goes like that. So you leave them like this. And those are part of the combine mode. Wrench them in 2. Take the head, close it over, and then rotate it so that the clip bits are facing like this. Come to the legs, discombine them, decombine them. What did I say? Discombine them. I don't even know if that's a word. And yeah, you just split them down the middle, and that's all you do with them. And they're going to be platform shoes. Now for red and the Patera, because it's pretty much on the way. So you're not going to need you're not going to need the pink and blue, obviously. But we are going to need 2 of the black parts at the minimum. So at the minimum, you're going to need 2 of these combined up like that. I might as well just get the other ones, just in case, because I think I do use them in Megazord state for the combination for Patera and Rex. Very slight. Alright, getting these 2 here on camera. Let's get into it. You're not going to need the key for the Patera. And you're also not going to need certain other aspects. Certain other aspects being you don't need the legs or the Patera head itself. There you go. So for the Patera mode, so we're going to get it into the, I don't know what it's exactly called, but it's like the flying T-Rex form. So basically, unclip the arms like so, and basically act like you're putting it into the Patera form. So you just kind of peg the arms in, like I mentioned. They don't like to stay on very well. I don't know why they didn't just make it the clip mechanism like the rest of it. Also, the face shield fell out. So you're just going to leave that there like that. And come here, you're going to remove the red. You're going to remove Rex's head. And you're going to remove the upper half. Like so. You're then going to pretty much put Rex here into this form. You are going to need the tail though. So take the tail and then attach that. And then attach the Rex head. And there is the flying Tyrannosaur mode, or Wyvern mode, I think it is. I think it's Wyvern. I think that's what it is called, is Wyvern mode. And yeah, it looks pretty alright. I mean, I like the whole shield thing. It is nice. And you can get a robot out of it. Of course you can get a robot out of it. What would it be without a robot? And to get the robot out of it, just do everything pretty much as normal. Like if you're creating the Megazord for either of these two Zord components. That can move, it just wasn't because I had the hips flipped up. Let's do that. And then take those. Take the red key, slot that in. Come to the chest piece. Give it the headgear. That's something we couldn't really show last time. And you can attach, if they want to attach, this as a weapon. So there you go. There is the Wyvern Megazord, I guess you want to call it. But let's get into the main thing. I gotta boost up the camera though again. Right, and for those wondering why I had to boost up the camera, it's because of the feet. So you're pretty much going to leave the Megazord just as I have it. That's why I did that combo, because it's pretty much on the way. But you're going to take this, and you're going to fold that horn forward. That's the whole point of that, being able to do that, by the way. You're going to fold that forward like that. You're then going to take the bits I used for the tail. You're going to remove them and attach the dino head. And that's going to peg on to that arm. Get the Mosa Zord involved, and that's going to go on the other arm, like that. We're then going to come in here, and we're going to attach the feet, so there is stud connections on the bottom of the feet. I did mention that, but they're really finicky for some reason, and do not like to always go on. There we are. And once again, I know it's a bit weird. There we go. Make sure everything ends up. It's still too tall to show up on camera, and also is tipping forward for some reason. But I guess we have to get another box involved. You know, I didn't think that this thing was this tall. I genuinely didn't. Yeah, but we're basically done here. We just have to get the Mosa Razor Zord's parts in here. So the fin goes on the inside like that, and then the arm's on the outside. And there is something nice about it I'm going to point out. There is these little slots cut out for the knee of the Rex Zord. And there is the complete... Why am I forgetting the name of it again? I said it earlier. Primal Ultrazord. There we go. Had to remember it. There's the complete Primal Ultrazord. There's a lot of stuff. There's actually enough stuff to make another Megazord, because you have the Patera legs and the Rex upper half, so you can actually make another Megazord, which is nice. But this is the Primal Ultrazord. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's not the worst. I just kind of wish it used every Zord, but it only uses the 3 main ones. I mean, it's cool. I like the whole head thing. I like that it has the mask. I think the Dimetrodon, though, actually comes with a key. So, I mean, they could have done it for this, but they didn't. They just did the mask, which is fine. I mean, it's nice. It's cool that you get the entire thing. You can do as you want with it. It's just a nice thing. Overall, though, I mean, this isn't the best combination. I think the individual figures themselves are better than this combo. It's not my favorite. It's fine. But as far as it goes, the whole line's pretty much a 5 out of 5. But as soon as we get to the Ultrazord, I'm going to degrade it to a 4. It's fine. It's just, I just wish it was more. Like, it just doesn't have all of them involved. And it doesn't even include all the parts from the Zords themselves. And I understand why. Like, there's nowhere to put the tail. Like, I mean, you could probably work it in somewhere, but, like, the Omanites, the sword from Mosa, you just can't do much with it. Although I will give it, it is tall. But this is my review of the Power Rangers Mosa Razor Megazord. This has been Eilt Elite signing out.